Hello, 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 sellers. Come on in, come on in. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. How are you? We're going to talk about what summertime eBay sellers want. That's the first part. And then how to source it. Because it's one thing to know what things are in demand, and it's another thing how to source them. Because sometimes I'll listen to people. Do you ever have this happen to you? I'll listen to some great tips, some great YouTube, some great blog posts, and I'm going, yes, yes, yes. But then it's like, but how do I get this? I mean, this is great inventory. And sometimes they'll mention, a certain store or a certain chain, like they'll mention like, oh, you have to do savers, or, oh, you should be doing the Goodwill bins. But guess what? I don't have any savers, or I don't have any Goodwill bins like within an hour of me. So what I'm going to share with you is one, what sells really well in the summertime on eBay. And I'm going to show you how to find out about it, because it's one thing for me to tell you, but I want to show you how you can find it. And you might be discovering some things that I haven't spotted. And then once you find it, and you'll see the items, and I'm going to give you some ideas, then how to source it. And the reason you're looking for things that are on trend and that are in demand is that this increases your cash flow. That when you're listing things, because many sellers do sell a big range, soup to nuts, which is great. And a lot of sellers will sell things that are very unique and very collectible, which is also wonderful. But oftentimes things that are unique, that are collectible, can take a while to sell. They are what's called a long tail item, which is it'll sit there for a while. So you make great money when it sells, but it can take a while to sell. So it's good to mix those long tail items, the things that take a little bit longer to sell, with things that are very much in demand, very much selling, because that's going to increase your cash flow. Oftentimes people will talk about, you have to have a certain amount of listings up in order to be a profitable part-time or full-time seller. They'll say things like, you have to have 100 listings up, or 500 listings up, or 1,000 listings up. It's not necessarily about how many listings you have up, because I'll work with sellers that have thousands of listings up, but they're having a problem with what is called their sell-through rate. So they're listing. They've got the inventory, but the items aren't selling at the rate that they should be selling. Okay. And then you've got other sellers that maybe only have 100 listings up or 150 listings up, and they're doing very, very well because what they're listing has a good sell-through rate. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, is things that are on trend, that are in demand, how to find out the things that are on trend and in demand, and then how to source them. So the first thing is, and I'm going to date this is right at the end of May. We just had Memorial Day weekend, and we're heading into June, and we're heading into summer, is that you think about, okay, so what are people shopping for right now? And yes, all kinds of things sell. And yes, it's different weather, different places in the United States and the world, and eBay is a global marketplace. But for the most part, for United States sellers, we're selling to the United States, and it's late spring, we're going into summer. And one thing about this time of year is that there's just been a lot of high school and college graduations, and particularly with the college graduations and grad school graduations, is there's a lot of travel right now. There's a lot of road travel with parents picking up their college students, or college students coming home. But there's a lot of road trips. So there's a lot of traveling. You're traveling around New England, or you're traveling from the East Coast to the Midwest, or you might be traveling from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. And oftentimes people, rather than flying, they will do a road trip. So the parents, that live in the mid-Atlantic states or live in the Midwest, they will do a road trip to the South. The other thing is, this time of year, again, because we have a lot of graduations, is that people will take road trips to go see their favorite niece, nephew, grandchild, godchild graduate from high school, from college, from graduate school. So there's a lot of road trips. There's a lot of driving going on. So with that in mind, is think about what people need when they're going on road trips. So if I'm driving for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, is the comfortable clothing. So think about that when you're listing clothing, because a lot of us are clothing sellers, is look at your clothing and is it comfortable? Does it resist wrinkles, depending on what the fabric is? You might want to put that in the title. You might want to put that in the description, and you might want to use that when you're sharing on social media. So comfortable, packs well, great for road trips. So just think about this. Why? Because a lot of people are behind the wheel of a car. They're traveling in cars. They might be traveling in RVs, and they're going to be looking for something, that they like, that's colorful, and it's also really good on a road trip. It's not going to wrinkle, wrinkle, wrinkle. The other thing that I notice oftentimes when people are traveling is they wear hoodies, and they wear it for layering. They wear it because they like to flip it up, because sometimes you get a bit of a chill on your neck. So consider that if you're going through your unlisted inventory when you're outsourcing, keep an eye out for really great hoodies. So comfortable traveling clothes for people of all ages, okay, for the road trips. And keep in mind the hoodies. The other tip I had for you for road trips, and I got this actually I just started searching on the internet, tips for road trips, things to take on road trips. And the reason I'm so aware of road trips, and this is how to know what things are in demand, is go on social media, go on Facebook, go on Instagram, and follow your friends. Just, hop over. What are they up to? Is a lot of mine are on road trips. They're driving. They're going to go visit friends. They're going to go visit family. They're going to graduations. They're coming back from graduations. And I went, wow, a lot of my friends are on the road. So look at that. Are a lot of your friends barbecuing? Are a lot of your friends gardening? It gives you ideas of things to source, because if they're doing it, other people are doing it, and they're going to be looking for products that are going to help them, products that are going to make their road trip more comfortable, products for their garden, for the outdoors, for whatever they're doing. Camping is huge this time of year. But back to road trips, comfortable clothes, hoodies. So I was searching, different tips for road trips, things to take on road trips. They're talking about snacks, so that's definitely a good one to consider. But this is an interesting one, was paper maps. And the reason why it was cited to take a paper map with you on a road trip is there's going to be times when the internet is not great. Boy, isn't that true? And particularly when you're driving through areas that you don't know that well. So you might have planned things out. You might have thought things through. You know what highway you want. You know what route you want. But is that you're not exactly sure about something, and you want to double check. And sure enough, when you pull out your phone or you check your distances, there is no Wi-Fi. You're between towers, or for some reason the carrier that you're using just isn't really good in the state that you're driving through. And I thought, what a great idea. So eBay sellers, is when you're outsourcing, and I was thinking particularly for my sellers that do thrift stores, consignment stores, yard sales, is to keep an eye out for maps. I used to sell a lot of maps here in New York City, because we're a very transient city. I would get a lot of cool AAA maps that were donated, that people just, they get them for the trip and then they leave them, and they were in great shape. And this is back in the day before everybody was using various things on their phone, various apps. But I thought, what a great idea. Again, if you're traveling, let's say I'm traveling from New York to Illinois, I'm traveling from New York to Kansas, I'm traveling from Kansas to Texas, I'm going from Texas to Arizona, is that I might want to have a map for the area as a backup for my phone. And sure enough, so I went on eBay. I said, let me just check this out. First of all, there was over 5,300 maps listed on eBay. Now realize that when people are listing maps, and this is sort of like a bonus tip, there's a lot of cool vintage paper maps, and a lot of them sell really well. So just again, when you're out thrifting, when you're out at consignment stores, estate sales, is keep an eye on some of these, because it was really, really interesting. Again, vintage travel map, AAA Auto Club 1945 went for 1881 best offer. And again, a lot of these things, sometimes when you're at the thrift store or the yard sale, they're giving them away, or it's like $1 for a whole mess of them. Is definitely keep an eye out for these. Now, not all of these sell. So again, you're going to need to do your research. For instance, AAA United States map was $5.99 with free shipping. So that's not the greatest, okay? Here's a AAA road map of the United States for $8 with free shipping. But look at this, North Carolina, South Carolina, state map, AAA road map, road tour map, which has a lot more detail. That was $9 with free shipping, and maps ship for not a lot. They're very, very light, okay? I wanted you to look at this. So this is very, very low. Again, Hawaii, $6 free shipping. A lot of these, but look at this, 1940s. This is what you're looking for. It's the vintage maps. 1940s pre-freeway map of San Diego. $37, okay, and free shipping. So the vintage ones rock, okay? Keep going. The modern one's not going for a lot, but this is, and again, not all of them are a lot of money. 1957 for $9.99, but boy, this one, talk about, where are we? Back to the 1940s one, just really rocked. This is what caught my eye. So 1940s rocked. A lot of them going for low money, okay? A lot of people throwing them in lots, so keep that in mind. But look at this. It's a tour book. So and this is a tour book of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. So the tour books definitely sell for more because they have more information in them. So that was my tip for you is, one, really think about what people are doing and they're on the road. So think comfortable clothing and think about using those keywords in your title and in your description and on social media. Think hoodies. Also, because they're traveling in their cars, think about things that help people organize the back of their car. Also big for people that are hitting the thrift stores and everything is the various organization things that people like to have in the back of their car. Also, don't forget people are traveling with their pets. So all kinds of good pet goodies. But with the maps is the unusual and the vintage. The modern ones obviously go for very, very little, so I wouldn't be sourcing the modern ones. But the tour book, so I would keep an eye out for those tour books. So that one was 20, okay, and that's nice money if you're getting it for free or very little money. But unusual, vintage, and the tour books. But be thinking, right now people are on road trips and the things that they're going to want for that, okay? Also, what people are doing right now is they are really shopping for Father's Day. Father's Day is a multi-million-dollar retail event on eBay. And remember with fathers is that a huge array of things sell for Father's Day. So for instance, my dad loved models and he loved models of things like aircraft carriers, everything naval. My dad was a model guy. The men in your family might be sports guys, like they love to fish or they love baseball. Everybody's family had different things that their fathers or the men in their family like to get. And sometimes what happens is we get locked into that. So we might think only, models, or we might think just sports equipment, rather than there's a huge array of things that sell for Father's Day. And I bet that you've got some of them on hand. So what I've done is a free guide for you, and it's on my website, ilovetobeselling.com. And it's 44 Father's Day gift ideas that you can list on eBay right now, and it's free. So just grab it. It gives you ideas. So again, you'll be looking at things and you just might not consider it a Father's Day gift. And it's a great Father's Day gift. And you could be using that in your social media. Okay. The other thing is that if you have unlisted inventory, grab the guide, look at it, read it, because you got 44 ideas that are hot sellers on eBay. And then you can look at your unlisted inventory and it helps you prioritize. Like, you know what? I'm going to list that now. I'm going to list that now. So that way you're listing things that are in demand. And that means that you're increasing your cash flow. So hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com, and grab 44 Father's Day gift ideas to list on eBay right now. Okay, great. Bye-bye, everybody. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling.